if you're going to live at home in order to afford luxury goods at the cost of your parents, then that's a big freaking L. What's going on, guys? Your boy RedpillCanuck back again with another YouTube video. Shout out to the Canuck Squad for being involved and being active on this YouTube channel. And of course, today is Money Monday. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, when we have our minds on our money and our money on our minds, and we don't think about tail. And of course, today's episode is sponsored, as always, by RedpillCanuck.com, our daily pill where we get all our news articles, financial news, and all that fun stuff. And of course, home of our latest addition to our lineup, Dear RPC, where you, the viewer, write in for professional advice. And of course, not given by professionals. And of course, it's for entertainment purposes only. And if you're listening on an alternative platform, shout out to everybody on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to you. If you're new, hit that follow button. Check out my YouTube channel. Hit the like button on the way and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, of course, today is Money Monday, and I actually was going to talk about the whole FTX trial, but that's a little bit more in depth. And we're probably going to release that sometime this week. There's a lot to kind of dissect with that case. There was a lot of good points and whatnot. If you haven't watched it already, feel free to watch it. Of course, I'm going to give my take on it. It is a 2-hour trial. Well, not trial, but an inquiry. But of course, your boy is going to give his take on it. But it's going to take a little bit longer than usual. A lot of surprises. A lot of good information. So kind of watch out for that. But today's episode. Now, I understand... And we're talking about y'all Gen Z millennials. I understand that, times are getting tough. Even some older individuals are actually moving back in with their parents. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to rag on you because I know it's recession time. Times are tough. And some of us can't afford to, either live on our own or even get a mortgage or even rent because, obviously prices are through the roof right now. But here's the deal. Now, I came across this article and I find it very, very sad. Now, I'm telling you, not sad in this way. Not sad in this way. We're talking about sad in this way because y'all Gen Z and millennials have to be so irresponsible in order to fall into this trend. And I actually, honestly, I'm going to try to take my personal feelings out of it and try to be unbiased as possible. Now, I get it. If you have to live at home, fine. I understand. Times are tough. But if you're going to live at home in order to afford luxury goods at the cost of your parents, then that's a big freaking L. That is an L on every aspect of the word of L. Why would you sacrifice yourself just for a piece of leather with a hole in it, or just to floss or for clout, instead of investing the money in something that is more tangible? Now, I've done a lot of videos of in regards to Money Monday and in regards to finances and whatnot. So hopefully y'all ain't part of this crowd here. But let's get into the article without further ado. I thought it was this very, very interesting and very sad at the same time. Young adults living with their parents are driving a luxury boom. Millennials and Gen Z are using their disposable income on their favorite high-end brands, according to a Morgan Stanley reports. Now, instead of putting this money aside for investments and investing in your future so you don't have to live in your parents' basement anymore, Y'all buying luxury goods which are probably going to depreciate and they're not going to be worth as much in what you paid for it. Bad investment advice. I don't know where y'all getting your investment advice, honestly. I do not know where. Like, honestly, are you guys getting all your crap from TikTok? Like, why would you even... Anyway, let's get into the article here. Again, I was going to be unbiased as possible. And, of course, I had to step back when I saw this article in order to cool down, because I honestly thought this was the most ridiculous thing. But anyway, hopefully you guys who watch me are not doing this. But let's get into the article here. More young people in the U.S. are now staying at home to save some money. But it doesn't mean they aren't scoping out luxury shops. In recent years, millennials and Gen Z have chosen to live with their parents instead of leaving the nest, thanks to the group's pursuit to higher education, delays in marriage, and soaring rent costs. Which, again, I give you a pass for that because I understand that. Well, still, delay in marriage, like, honestly, I'm not married. I live by myself. It's called being an adult. Now, higher education, I understand if you took on more debt than you were supposed to in regards to your learning, your book learning, I understand. We all made poor choices. Of course, there's no guidance out there. The schools have failed you. They forgot to teach you how to invest and how to economize. I understand that. And rental costs, I understand. Recession time, inflation, whatnot. Now the two generations are opting to use their new disposable income to purchase high-end items according to a new report. And their shopping habits are definitely having an impact. The trend has helped drive sales and increase in apparel of goods such as purses, watches, and jewelry across the luxury industry, according to Bloomberg. When young people free up their budgets on daily necessities, they simply have more disposable income to be allotted to discretionary spending. And of course, this person from Morgan Stanley said, "We see it as a fundamentally positive for the luxury industry." Like they don't have more money as it is. Now, here's the thing. Now, a lot of you guys don't know this, but Louis Vuitton, I'm using them as an example because a lot of people know this name. Louis Vuitton makes most of their money off poor people. Yes, you heard me right. They make most of their money off poor people. Now, rich people, they don't really care about this too much if you guys think I'm wrong, look at Mark Zuckerberg, for instance. Look at what's the other guy's name from Shark Tank? Not Kevin O'Leary. She's the guy who owns the Mavericks. Sorry, his name is okay. Anyway, beside the point. If you look at the most richest people in the world right now, okay, even Elon Musk. I'll use Elon Musk as an example as well. They don't dress up. You notice even Bill Gates, for instance. He looks like a grandpa. He ain't flashy. He doesn't have Louis Vuitton branded all over himself. Now, a lot of rich people do not invest in luxury goods like this. They don't need to floss. But y'all going out there flossing like there's no tomorrow. Now, I don't understand that. I really don't understand. And Louis Vuitton actually did come out, allegedly. Now, I can't remember if it was an employee or it was one of the people that worked there. Like somebody actually approached them and asked them, like, how do you make your money? Like, who spends $4,000 on a bag? And the person actually said, poor people do. Rich people are not our target. Poor people are. Yep. And y'all running there and doing it. Anyway, let me continue here. According to a recent U.S. Census data, nearly half of young Americans between the ages of 18 and 29 are living with their parents. the highest percentage reached nationwide since 1940, when the country was rebuilding after a decade-long Great Depression. One of the main reasons millennials and Gen Z are opting to stay put, the two age groups are largely delaying taking the next step into their relationship and having kids to achieve financial security before taking the plunge. 37% of young people are holding off on getting married or getting engaged because they want to ensure their debts are paid off first, which makes sense. You don't want to get into a relationship where, you owe money because, of course, when you get into a marriage, for instance, your debt obviously becomes the other person's debt as well. And a lot of you guys consolidate your debt, which I think is stupid. But anyway, that's just me. According to a 2020 New York Post poll, another 29% say they delay purchasing their first home for the same reason. Young adults across the pond. Now, where is this? Are we going to the UK? Is this the UK again? Oh, no, this is the US. Okay, so we're still in the US. Shout out to the US people. And okay, where am I here? Across the pond. Oh, no, we are in the UK. I don't know what to say about UK individuals. Yeah. We were just in the US and apparently we're on the UK now. Young adults across the pond aren't strangers to this trend. Morgan Stanley found that a number of UK residents aged 15 to 34 reside at home has increased by 42%, up to about 35% since 1999, despite the country's dealing with an economic recession. More young, high-income UK shoppers are also fueling luxury goods sales to increase their engagement on social media. So y'all doing it for clout. Now, I understand age 15 because you can't go live on your own anywhere when you're 15. Nor I even think it's legal. But 34? Listen, now, I can't imagine myself being 34 and still living at home. I couldn't do it. Unless I had to take care of my parents because they're old and I moved back to help them because they weren't physically able to take care of themselves anymore, instead of putting them in a retirement home or a retirement complex or old age home or whatever you call it. In order to avoid that, I understand. But to do this, it makes no sense. I'm lost. I'm really lost. Now it's time to splurge. Since summer, American shoppers have been hopping onto flights to Europe to take advantage as the sinking pound and euro getting more for their dollar across the region and making pit stops to their favorite retailers to score a deal. The young adults are then reselling the same investment pieces for a profit to combat. Okay, you know what? Actually, that's kind of smart. They can use the kickback to continue to cycle and purchase even more designer goods, perhaps as a gift for their parents and holidays. Okay, you know what? Okay, here I kind of understand. If you're going to buy it for a resale, then it's kind of smart. Now, I'm not going to rag on designer luxury goods. I'm not going to rag on that. They do sometimes hold their value. Now, it depends on what you buy. But if you see this article, it kind of misinformed me a little bit. Now, the way they titled this was completely wrong. Now, did I get baited? Probably. Buzzer for me. But the way it made it look is that people were staying home in order to, save money, to spend money on themselves. That's the way this article looked like. And I'm going to give Rob Report the buzzer because you know what? It did start to look like that. But when you go here to this part here and it's saying that they're using it to get profit in order to rinse and repeat, that's a little bit different than what it says here. Interesting, isn't it? Quite interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is going to be a different Money Monday, it looks like. Because I was about to rag on the young people for doing this trend. But it looks like what they were really doing is basically buying the goods at a cheaper price because obviously the currency is a little bit it says sinking pound in euro, so it looks like the currency has a little bit of a downturn. So what they're doing, it looks like they're taking the money, they're buying the goods, and they're flipping it. Actually kind of smart if you really look at it, if they're doing this. But again, if you're staying home to do this, I wouldn't really advise it. Now, here's the thing, though. Now, we're going to break this down a little bit. Then today's going to be a little bit of a short video because I do have another video planned. Again, I was going to do the whole FTX thing with the trial and whatnot, but that's taking a little bit longer for me than usual to kind of dissect because I don't want to sit here and literally go through 2 hours. I kind of want to get the good parts of it. So I decided to do this instead. But so let's get back to this story here. Now, when you look at this here, now, if somebody's actually doing this as a business, you know, it's kind of smart. But if you're taking the actual money and putting it aside in order to get property or to invest, then you know what? I see it as a good idea. Honestly, it's a side hustle. I think it's smart. I think it's creative. You know what? But if you're going to stay home to do this, do you really have to stay home to do this? You can still live on your own to do this. Now, if the parents are in on this, I don't know. Now, here's the thing I want to point out as well. Now, perhaps as a gift for their parents for this holiday season. Now, a lot of older people, and this is just allegedly, this is just my experience. A lot of older people don't really care about designer stuff. My mom, for instance, like I bought her a Canada Goose jacket. Like, honestly, you know how well, okay. I know there's going to be mixed reviews on Canada Goose. Some of y'all saying it has to do with nature and whatnot, and it's cruelty to animals or whatever. Now, they've changed that. And plus, the jacket that I got her, it doesn't have the fur and whatnot. Does it have the fur? I can't remember. Anyway, the point is that a lot of older people don't care about luxury goods. They don't care. So getting it as a gift, I don't think would be a good idea. But if you're going to be doing this as it is a creative side hustle, the way I see it. But yeah, this article was definitely titled wrong. And yeah, L for them. L for them definitely. Oh, hey there. Now, just to reiterate what I meant in this video, just to avoid any sort of confusion. Now, based on the article, they were talking about side hustling. So basically buying luxury goods and then flipping it for a higher price because of the difference in currency. Now, that I do agree with. I just want to reiterate that again. But if you're going to be staying home and buying luxury goods just for clout for social media, then that's a definite L. I don't agree with that. So technically this article was half right. But again, they could have titled this article a little bit differently just to make it a little bit more simpler for people to understand. Anyway, let's get back to the video. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be a short video for today as well. I did take a little bit of time off because I had to update our good old podcast playlist to get it ready for 2023. We do actually have a Christmas video coming out, so stay tuned for that. Along with the FTX saga, as they call it. There's a lot of interesting things going on with FTX. Honestly, a lot of truth is coming out, and a lot of allegedlys are coming out. Now, if you want to honestly know what my take on it is, and this is all alleged, of course. So we're going to switch the screen here a little bit. Like, honestly, if you really want to know what my take is on FTX, I think that Sam, now, not to be mean, I don't think Sam is bright enough in order to pull off this whole big scandal on his own. Now, I'm not trying to be mean. He seems like an intelligent individual. But, of course, when he was interviewed, he couldn't answer half of the questions. And just by looking at him alone, it looks like he and his girlfriend, and I don't know, alleged partner, girlfriend, whatever the hell you want to call her, those two do not look smart enough in order to pull off such a heist. They don't look like they can, honestly. So I honestly think there's other people in the background who pulled this off, and they're labeled as the scapegoats. Either that or they were involved and they took the fall because they couldn't get out as fast as everybody else did. Now, again, and this is allegedly, and I am going to be covering this in my FTX video, which is coming out in a few days, hopefully before Christmas. I honestly do not think that these two pulled this off on their own. I really don't. And not being able to answer some of the questions, I believe not only that they are not able to answer because they don't know, but they only know half of it. So, but that's just allegedly. We never know. And I guess that's what the investigations are for. But yeah, today's going to be a short video. Honestly, I was about to go in hard pause on y'all Gen Z and millennials, but it looks like this article is definitely labeled wrong. So this looks like actually a side hustle, which I am for. Like these days, we all have to have some sort of high side hustle in order to combat recession or inflation or everything, because everything is going up in price. And I've always advocated for side hustles, honestly, because you cannot survive in this day and age on a 9-to-5. It is impossible. Unless you're living by yourself, I understand. But if you have a family to feed, yeah, you can't do a 9-to-5 on your own. You have to have some sort of side hustle. And this seems like a creative side hustle. If you're basically not hurting anybody. It looks like the dollar is going down, and it's all about currency and exchange and whatnot. And if you're able to make a little bit of a profit, I don't see anything wrong with it. As long as you're not living at home and making your parents hold the bag. Now that's where I kind of draw the line. But anyway, today's going to be a very short Money Monday. I just thought this was very interesting. Shout out to RedpillCanuck.com, our daily pill, where we get all our financial news articles, and podcasts and whatnot. Shout out to everybody on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you hit that follow button. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel and like button if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. And again, we will be talking about good old FTX later. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, and to check out our more recent uploads, check here on the top left, and to check out our playlist, check here on the top right. And make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and also check out our Quick Hits channel, which is also located down below, for our more bite-sizable content. I'll see you guys in the next one.